And here we are once again. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles.
Is that recording?
Hooray, it is.
It is.
Yeah, hooray!
It's the red light.
Yeah,
It's all about the year 1981 this time. We'll have our tops and bottoms from that wonderful year of music. And we'll also be reviewing an album from 1975 that was just re-released on Record Store Day. It's Coco Taylor's I Got What It Takes. So that is coming up at the more towards the end of the episode. But first, we've got to talk all about 1981. It was the year that MTV was launched. So, well, we'll get more into that. But anyway, we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. I'm Robert Fithen, along with Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora, Mike from Hub Tunes, and ladies and gentlemen, the man whose doctor actually wrote a prescription that said no more monkeys jumping on the bed, Richard from Calvin Wazoo.
Are you feeling all right?
That was pretty amazing, though. I wasn't expecting that. I dig it.
Thanks. I think you're the only one that got it. Maybe I should have used it for you.
Maybe.
Mama called the doctor and the
doctor said no more Richard jumping on the bed.
All right, so let's get right to 1981 because that didn't go anywhere.
You did with me.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So yeah, when I was going through in 1981, first of all, I didn't put a lot into this. I usually, with these years, I will listen to a bunch of albums I haven't heard in years and years, or maybe some I've always meant to listen to but never have. But I've been so busy this week that I didn't get a chance to do all that. So I only have 9 albums pulled. I have my top 5 and then 3 runners up. But one thing I noticed about 1981, looking over all of the albums, it really was a really bland year for music. I mean, it's like everybody put out their middle album. It's like this recurring theme. I don't mean chronologically. I mean like quality-wise. Every album almost is like, okay, yeah, it's pretty good. They've got better. That's every album. AC/DC, For Those About to Rock, that's pretty good. They've got better. The Police, Ghost in the Machine, that's pretty good. They've got better. Black Sabbath, Mob Rules, that's pretty good. They've got better. Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman, that's pretty good. He's got better. Journey Escape, that's pretty good. They've got better. U2 October, that's pretty good. They've got better. The Cars, Shake It Up, that's pretty good. They've got better. That's like the recurring theme for almost every album.
There goes my list.
From 1981. I mean, but those are as good as it gets, just about. I mean, pretty much. I mean, I have
for you.
But yeah. So,
true.
Yikes! With the color of the year was beige, by the way, very appropriate. Van Halen. Fair warning. Here's a runner-up. This is some brutal, mean Van Halen.
Yeah, it's a dark album.
It's a very dark, nasty album that is. It's like, where have all the good times gone? They're not here. You got Mean Streets and Unchained is fun. Unchained is pretty fun. That's the fun song on here. The synths get introduced on here that would later take over the album. 1984. They're introduced at the end of the album. This is the Van Halen album that says "fuck." You know, you got the prom queen that becomes a porn actress. They're all on this album. The dude getting punched in the face while somebody else looks on in horror. This actually is a piece of a larger painting. This is just one piece of the painting blown up. I don't remember who the artist is, but this is all supposed to be pieces of his life. But that's a runner-up. Fair warning. Here's another one. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I love rock and roll. That's a great song. But there's other great songs on here too, like Nag.
It's all covers.
Oh, baby, you're in there.
Runaway. Yeah, a lot of covers on here. Crimson and Clover.
It's all covers, isn't it?
It really is. It.
Yeah, I believe it's all covers.
Be Straight is, that's, I thought that was Be Stiff. Never mind. I thought that was a Devo. But yeah, Crimson and Clover we could have done without. She was kind of repressed in her, what was their names? The Runaways, with Cherry and Lita Ford. She broke out on her own and became a big solo success, as did Stevie Nicks with Belladonna. This is a pretty good album. This is decent. I like a lot of songs on here. It's got a lot of great singles. The Tom Petty, Stop Dragging My Heart Around, Don Henley, Leather and Lace is okay. Obviously, the crown jewel on here is Edge of 17. That's an incredible song. But I love the story of this album, how she was so repressed and so almost dismissed, really, a lot of times with Fleetwood Mac, especially Lindsey Buckingham. You may remember on the first Buckingham Nicks album, he's got all those misogynistic songs. One song he's like, you'd think he's probably singing to her. She's the woman on the album. It's Buckingham Nicks, talking about how, oh, you might find it hard to keep up with me. You're not as strong as I am, and blah, all this bullshit. And then she comes out with her solo debut, same year he does. Anybody know the name of his solo debut album?
No, it was terrible.
Didn't think so. Hers is called Belladonna, and wow, this is probably I didn't look it up. I'm sure this is a platinum album. His is just kind of there. So those are my runners-up. With my top 5, this is the first time I'm actually really surprised at what my number 1 is. I did not see this coming at all. I was kind of... Oh, I have another runner-up. Tom Petty, speaking of, and Hard Promises. Another one where... Great album. He's got better. Anyway. Number 5.
Uh-oh.
Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. Yeah, sorry. But this is a really fun album, and it's a really hard rocking album. It is definitely... Oh, it's by far their best album. And the 2 mixes of this, they had their independent mix, and then the Elektra remixed it for the major label. But I actually prefer the remix version.
I used to listen to that like crazy.
Moose Knuckle there.
Yeah, and
Moose. It's kind of, or is it?
No,
I don't look like Moose Knuckle. Oh, maybe it was just the light.
It's the light, yeah.
It looked like a moose knuckle.
And we're grabbing our leg here. There's nothing there either. But anyway, you can actually get the original mix if you get the Elektra, the first pressing of the Elektra Canada copy of this. But anyway, you don't want that. You want the remix. It's a lot better. But yeah, Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. Young guys, lean, mean, having fun. L.A., fun times, overindulgence. It's really too bad what became of these guys. But yeah, that's a solid album. Number 4 is a bunch of outtakes from the Rolling Stones, from some girls and a couple from Emotional Rescue, and they made an album that's, well, at least better than Emotional Rescue, with those outtakes, called Tattoo You. This has this song on there. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this song called Start Me Up.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Heard it once.
Never.
Gee whiz. Wow, talk about overplayed.
Vaguely.
I love Hang Fire on here. Hang Fire's a great song. Little TNA, that'll get canceled. You'll get canceled if you play that now. But Heaven is it's kind of a strange side too on here. It gets very dreamy and very floating along, but it's definitely a different kind of Rolling Stones album. Is this Mick Jagger?
I think so. Yeah.
And that's Keith Richards, so it would make sense. And this is a some kind of a, I don't know, like a goat leg or something in high heel shoe. But yeah, Tattoo You, it's hilarious that they did a bunch of outtakes and put some finishing touches on them and made one of their most biggest selling albums on there. Number 3 is The Pretenders 2, the sequel to The Pretenders, but actually they had an EP that was between those 2 releases.
Yeah.
And the EP has the full version of Talk of the Town. On here it's edited. What the hell? Why would you do that? Anyway, great songs like The Adulteress, where she's like an adulteress, but she makes good tea.
Thanks for clarifying that.
She's an adulteress?
Yeah, instead of Stop Your Sobbing, the Kinks remake on this one is I Go to Sleep. Talk of the Town's my favorite song on here. Day After Day is great. It kind of loses it a little bit when it gets to like the last 3 songs.
It's a great cover photo too of the band.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I've always loved that.
Are you saying that because you read my review a long time ago? This is a terrible cover photo.
You know what I don't like about that album, though?
She looks great on there. No, that's
oh my God.
I
did an Instagram review of this, and that's the only negative I had was I hate this album cover.
I didn't read it.
No, the one
Who dressed these people? Why does he have these sideburns? That's a great looking guy. Why did they ruin him like that?
Nice.
Who does he think he is with that hairdo? Why is she in
from the Stray Cats?
Oh my God. Anyway.
I really like that album, but one thing that bugs me is the way it was recorded. I don't know how they, the techniques for recording, but it sounded to me like they had the band all together, doing the instrumental part all on a live stage. And then they put Chrissie Hynde in a booth to do the vocals, the vocal tracks. So it's a great record, but I just don't like the way they recorded the vocals.
It's a little bass heavy. At number, where are we at? Number 2
Two?
is Prince with Controversy. This is
It's a good one.
fourth album. Yeah, fourth album. This is I mean, I loved. I was introduced to him in the 1999 album. Was the first one I had. Then I had Purple Rain, and then for Christmas I got Prince, the second album on cassette, and then a 2-for-1 cassette where Dirty Mind and Controversy were on the same cassette. And I mean, it's you know, obviously the song Controversy on here with its dance groove. You know, this is basically the sound of what was to come. Basically, he was kind of early on the kind of synthy kind of drum kind of sound there. Ronnie talked to Russia, all about how Ronald Reagan's got to have a conversation with Russia before they blow up the world. It's 1981. Let's Work, Annie Christian's A Strange song. Private Joy is, you know, a typical Prince sex song. But these have some real, you know, it's a funky beat all the way through for the 80s. Sexuality, of course, is total Prince. And the only cringy thing is the full-length, like, 8-minute version of Do Me Baby, where he starts talking and says, "I'm so wet." We don't need that. Come on,
I like the single version.
You know you're in for something when a song called "Jack You Off" is not the most cringe song on the album or the most like intimate song. "Jack You Off" is incredible. That's probably it's become my favorite song on here. It's the last song. It's pretty much a novelty song. And Prince, I don't know what's going on here. I've never heard a guy referred to this to a woman as jacking her off. Prince is the only person I've ever heard calling having I don't know what a nice way to put that is, but with a woman jacking her off. That's the thing you do to a guy, right? It's like exclusively?
Yeah, I've had lesbian friends say that though.
Oh, okay, well, he's jacking a woman off in the movie show. Sitting in the
That's
back
a good
row.
time. That's a good time at the movie show.
Yeah. You do the popcorn trick. That's how you start that.
And next
is number 1, and I'm really surprised that this is the best. But this is a great album. I'm just surprised it's my number. It ended up number 1 on a list. Billy Squier and "Don't Say No."
Oh wow!
great record.
Richard had the best look. Richard's got the best expression for that.
I think it's great.
But yeah, you can't go wrong with this. Wow, what an incredible album, just all the way through. Just a solid rock album and completely non-pretentious. A little
singles.
bit. Yeah, well, yeah, 4 at least, with "In the Dark, Lonely as the Night" and "My Kind of Lover" and "The Stroke." I don't know if there was another one, but "You Know What I Like's pretty good. "Don't Say No" is fun. "Nobody Knows" is a ballad. That's
In the Dark?
Cool. Yeah,
In the Dark?
In the Dark, "My Kind of Lover," "Lonely as the Night," and "The Stroke." 4 that I know of. Maybe there was a 5th that didn't do much, but "The Stroke," obviously, that's all about the music business. And a great song, and people call this corporate rock. Well, you're not too corporate if you got a song like "The Stroke" on there, which basically calls them all out. Produced by Mac, which is the same Mac that you'll find credited on the back of Queen albums. Same guy that produced a lot of the later Queen albums, like the Game, came out the year before. Also produced this along with Billy Squier. But yeah, my number 1 album of 1981, Billy Squier, "Don't Say No."
Wow.
There it is.
Wow. Look at you.
No, yeah.
Fancy.
Well,
Get it, Mikey.
1981 for me.
Fancy. He doesn't even have any shoes on.
That's fancy where I come from.
Oh.
So 1981, I was in junior high. I was seventh grade, and this music brings back memories of school dances and hanging out in the smoking lounge, outside, trying to bum a cigarette from the older boys, and just I think there's a lot of great music in it. And I actually did some honorable mentions. Most of them you just mentioned. Ghost in the Machine. I love that record. I think it's great. Yes, they do have better. Movement by New Order. Great record. Belladonna. Belladonna. Discipline by King Crimson. That's a great King Crimson record. Blue Oyster Cult had that big one. What was it? Fire of Unknown Origin.
Oh yeah, with Burning for You.
Burning for You.
Is that the one with Joan Crawford has risen from the grave or whatever? Going through the motions.
Yeah, I don't remember. Joe and Jet, huge album that year. Controversy again. The Tom Tom Club had their big record. The Go-Go's,
Yeah.
I believe, was 1981.
Yes,
The
we got Beauty and the
Beauty
Beat.
and the Beat.
Beauty and the Beat. The Neville Brothers had Fire on the Bayou. There
I
you
need
go.
a pink cover of this one.
Duran Duran released
that's what I have is the blue
their
one.
self-titled. Yeah, there you go.
There's different mixes
and-
of this, by the way.
Right, I need
Yeah,
the
there
pink
is.
one.
Yeah, and I'm still looking for an original. It's going to cost me a fortune. At this point. I'll even take I'll take a remade, a reissue. Is the Cramps Psychedelic Jungle? I can't find it anywhere, and they're very, very expensive. But that also came out. So those are my.
Didn't I have that? And I didn't
Do you
think
have
that
it?
was okay.
I think it's very hard to find. There are reissues out though.
I have
So
it here too.
So 1981 was the year I went to my very first concert, and it was this tour. Rolling Stones here in Chicago. They were recording this album. Still Life was recorded on this tour. Not a great Stones tour. I've seen them several times since, and they were much better. I pulled about 20 records. So Pretenders 2. I really like this record. This is a Japanese press, which I never noticed what Richard was saying, but I'm gonna listen to that again. But this is my go-to.
It's not on all Japanese pressings, but with a lot of them, yes.
Mm-hmm. Next, Martin Chambers. He's still in the band.
Yes. He left and came back.
Yes.
Devo, New Traditionalists.
Mine's getting unwarped.
Really? Great
yes.
record. Great record.
It's my favorite Devo.
Yeah, mine too. The Misfits, Kinks. I'm not a huge fan of this era of the Kinks, but this has some okay stuff on it. It's not great, but
terrible
it's
album.
Jesus.
It's got a racist song on there, for God's sakes.
Squeeze, definitely not their best. This is when, but not their best, but their most highest selling record in the U.S. They had their first number one hit with Tempted. This is when Paul Carrack comes into the band and Jules Holland leaves, and they've really never been
Fellow
any
Vinyl
good
Community member James Griffiths wrote a book about Squeeze and says
I've
that
read-
on the cover of that
read
album,
it.
Paul Carrack looks like a homeless person.
I've read this book. It's very good.
Yes,
People should definitely read it. Billy Squires, Don't Say No. This thing was everywhere. They played this at every school dance we went to. What a great record. Maybe Lonely as the Night. Did you say Lonely as the Night?
Yeah.
I think that was a single too.
Yeah. In the Dark, Lonely as the Night, My Kind of Lover, and The Stroke.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, maybe it was only 4.
What a guitar riff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and the song 2 Days Gone is really good on there. I love this record. I absolutely love it. This came out. I prefer the second one. We've talked about that. Huge album. This thing was everywhere. Yeah. I mean, huge album.
Actually, it didn't come out until 1982 in America.
Romeo Void.
Just ignore him.
Romeo Void. Great punk record.
I don't know that. I'll have to check that out.
Oh,
Is that the one with Never Say Never?
No.
No.
That girl is Girl in Trouble? No, Girl in Trouble's not on there, right?
Yeah, that's like 83 or 84, right? Girl in Trouble is a temporary
Charge
thing.
Remains.
I'm showing this because my friend Eric, who watches, loves this EP. This is a band called Scars. Nobody's ever heard of them. They're
I
a
love that
post-punk.
cover.
I have
Yeah, no,
lots
isn't it
of
great?
them.
It's actually an EP, but really cool post-punk. Excellent EP. I don't know if they made any other music, but it's really good. I'm just going to lift all these up here. Gary Newman came out with a very underrated record. This is Dance. It's a terrible cover, but there's some really good stuff. This would be his fourth. This would be his fourth record. It's along the same lines as the first three. It's, that synth pop. This is dancey, I guess you would say. but really underrated. Probably his last great record of the early years. Oh God, I just dropped all my records. Japan Tin Drum, their best record. Absolutely
Yeah,
love
I
this
still
record.
need to get that one.
Yeah, you can find them. This is really old, but you can find them pretty cheap. Really good record. The Ramones, Pleasant Dreams. Not a great Ramones record, but
I don't think I've ever heard that one.
it's okay. I got that in the box set from Record Store Day, and I hadn't heard it in years, and I played it. It's okay.
I don't think I've heard a Ramones album past end of the century, actually.
John Fox, lead singer from Ultravox, he went solo. This is his second solo record. This is The Garden, probably my favorite solo John Fox record. Very, very cool. Synth pop. Echo and the Bunnymen, Heaven Up Here. It was everywhere. Great record. Grace Jones, Night Clubbin'.
Yeah.
She does the beautiful cover of Night Clubbin' by Iggy Pop. She also does a Bill Withers song on here.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, great record. Really, and this also has Pull Up to My Bumper, which is legendary. Great.
That's
great
about
album.
anal sex.
Yes, it is.
Oh, scandalous.
This was my favorite when I was a kid in 1980. This was my favorite Van Halen record. I remember running to the record store and buying this record. I love this record. I think Unchained is probably one of my favorite Van Halen songs. It doesn't have a lot of hits or anything, but man, I loved it. I absolutely love this record. It's dark and moody. It's really good. I don't think it gets enough love. Okay, I got more records here. I'm almost done, don't worry. Simple Minds, Sons and Fascination. This is a really good early Simple Minds record. I love their pre-fame days. This stuff is really, really good. This was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I like it.
I like it too. I have it.
The two singles were everywhere. You could not go turn on the radio. I mean, they were everywhere. But Angel and Blue is on here. That's a great song.
The centerfold.
Yeah, I mean,
Piss on the Wall is on there.
Piss on the Wall. Do you remember when? Rage in the Cage. Great stuff. I love the J. Gals band. I saw them on this tour, and they were really, really good. Great live band. Really, really good.
They
live
are
band.
really good live band.
Yeah, they were incredible. The Boomtown Rats, Mondo Bongo. Love the Boomtown Rats. Psychedelic Furs, Talk Talk. One of my favorite Psychedelic Furs records. I love this record.
One.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
I've never heard that either.
That has the original version of Pretty in Pink on it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's better than the soundtrack version.
Robert mentioned this. I'm a fan of their first 4 records. I think everything else is, but this is a great record.
He says,
The Cars, Shake It Up. Robert's right. They have better. But I love Since You've Been Gone. It's got some good songs on it. It's a good record. Guy didn't make any bad records. Tom Petty, Hard Promises. Not, again, Robert's right. Not his best, but he didn't really make a bad record. Really, really good.
I love the fact that there's he's standing around all those records too. If you look closely, it looks like some things have been blurred out. Like especially this right here.
Yeah,
looks like it's been like superimposed so you can't see what it was.
oh.
But yeah, any album cover with 45s all over the front of it.
And the last one, an album that probably was back in 1981 was probably my favorite record of the year. Absolutely loved it. It was all over the place. I was a fanatic, and this is Rush's Moving Pictures. Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, YYZ. Great record. This was played at every school dance I went to. We danced to Red Barchetta and Tom Sawyer.
How do you dance to Red Barchetta?
We didn't have Rush.
You don't. It was played, but it was played, and we would all just stand in the corner.
My uncle has a
Limelight. Great record. So
Limelight's a great song.
Oh yeah, it's a great album. Witch Hunt is actually a really good song on there on side 2. I love Witch Hunt. So, and that's it. That's a lot. Now I got to put all that away.
I used to work with somebody that was just absolutely obsessed with Rush and was really offended that I was like, well, I know that
Oh my
Tom's
God.
Cabin or Diner or whatever that song is. Kind of know it, but
That's Suzanne Vega. Tom's Diner.
Yeah, all my friends.
First
You
two
know,
albums.
it's something to do with a cabin, right? Oh, Tom Sawyer. Tom Sawyer.
Yeah. First two albums
That's
I
kinda
really,
right.
really like of Rush, but after that, it's.
Well, they could become a different band. That
Oh, yeah,
first
they
album
did.
is a totally different.
Very proggy,
Everything.
very grandiose, very. Yes.
The first album's a Midwestern classic rock album about drinking beer and being a working
Yeah.
man, and
Yeah.
I'm in the mood to have sex. It's 7:45.
Oh,
well, then they got a different songwriter, and things
Yeah,
totally
that
changed.
actually could write songs
Yeah,
beyond just.
right.
I'm gonna go home and have a nice cold beer.
that sounds like my jam.
Working Man, 7.5 minutes long. We used to play it
Oh,
on the radio.
don't know that I've ever heard it.
Fly By Night's a good album too, and it's very different from the debut.
Yeah, that's the second
In
one. Right?
1981, every one of my friends was just a Rush fanatic. Every single one of them absolutely loved Rush. They're crazy.
Oh. It's my turn.
Yep.
Okay, I'm singles. Yes. I am representing the singles of 1981. Thank you very much. And I have some honorable mentions, and then I will go into my top 10. So I'm starting with my honorable mentions with Heaven 17, and we don't need this fascist groove thing. That song is wild, and it's all over the place, and I love it. It's good. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Then, not surprised that she's somehow on my list, but might be surprised that this is the song it is. But Dolly with But You Know I Love You, because I think that's a beautiful song, and it was a great single.
I love
And
the music that's in there that's not in the Kenny Rogers version. That
Yeah.
That's not a part of the original. That's her own
No,
thing.
and yeah, it's absolutely, I love her version of it, and I love her, of course. And the big song that was out that year of hers, I don't. 9 to 5 is my least favorite song in Dolly's catalog. So probably because that and Jolene, if I never hear them again, I'll be okay. Because
9 to 5 I always thought was 80 anyway, because that's when the movie came out. I guess it didn't start charting until 81.
It was still on the charts in 81, but yeah.
It was huge.
Oh my goodness, she had 3, maybe only 2 singles in 81, but 3 big songs, and this was probably my favorite. Juice Newton with Angel of the Morning. Just call me I've been listening to all these songs. I did a playlist.
I was gonna pull that.
I love, and Juice. Is Juice her given name? That's
I believe so.
Is it really?
I
Somebody
think it
named
is.
their child Juice. It would have been awesome if her middle name was Box, but they didn't have juice boxes probably back then. But I don't know. Anyways, then we got. Oh yeah.
You always get.
Foreigner with urgent, emergency.
Wow.
I loved that song when I was a kid. So I think I always go kind of back to just that urgent. I was so excited about it. Hello. Rod Stewart, Tonight I'm Yours. Don't hurt me. That is one of his greatest songs ever.
You said
really
so.
nothing. Yeah, it says me, and
Tonight I'm young, do anything that you want me to. Just don't hurt me, baby.
It's so fantastic, and I love that whole album. Willie Nelson with Angel Falling Too Close to the Ground.
Yeah, that's a great song. That's probably in my top 5 of his. As far as the big hits.
Okay. I thought you were being sarcastic.
No.
You're not being okay. All right. Adam and the Ants, Stand and Deliver. Oh. Really? Nobody?
I don't really know.
I remember Adam and the Ants, but I don't remember any of their hit singles. Just
Stand and Deliver. Oh my gosh.
Stand and Deliver? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Stand and Deliver.
James Olmos movie where it's another one of those movies where the teacher comes to the inner city or whatever. I think that was Stand and Deliver. No.
Oh yeah,
James Edward Olmos.
that is
Yeah.
that is the name of that
Oh, he
movie,
was the
isn't it?
guy who took. He was a mathematician who became a teacher.
Something like that. It's like
And
Lean
he
on
got
Me or
accused of
any of
cheating.
that stuff. Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was an inner city teacher thing. Anyway,
Yeah,
yes.
it was in LA.
There
He
is
was
something
at
with
school in
Stand.
LA.
There is a movie called Stand and Deliver, I think, but there is the
Yeah,
Stand
that's
by
it.
Me or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually liked that movie. It was good.
Look what has happened to me.
Come on. Now, see,
can't
I was right
believe
there
it,
the
Ma.
whole time. I either liked the songs or didn't know the songs. And then you pull out Joey Scarsbury.
It's the greatest American hero, believe it or not. How can you not love that song?
I believe it.
It makes me.
I love the
so
TV
happy.
show.
My dad watched it
the TV
all.
show.
He loved it so much, and yeah, and I didn't bring it. I had the 45. Not surprised, right? Okay, and then
have the
Human
45.
League, Love Action, I Believe in Love. Okay, now on to my top 10. Those were just my honorable mentions. Okay, so at number 10, Flock of Seagulls, Telecommunications.
Speaking of communication, you totally became muffled all of a sudden.
Oh, I'm muffled.
Oh, now you're not.
You're unmuffled.
Telecommunication, Flock of Seagulls. Number 9.
It's a great song.
I don't know.
And that's a good album, too.
Yeah, it's a great album.
Their first two are really, really good.
Mhm.
Her baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 to 5, and then Sheena Easton. She had 50,000 singles out that year, maybe 3, but yeah, okay, 50,003. It's exactly the same. I love.
So
Morning
Sheena
Train.
Easton's 9 to 5 is better than Dolly Parton's 9 to 5.
No, I don't know what I want to say better, but I enjoy this one. And I no longer enjoy.
Didn't you just say you were tired of Dolly Parton's 9 to 5?
Yes, but you don't. This is one of the most played Sheena Easton songs, but I don't feel you hear this as you hear a lot of Sheena's. Like Dolly, you hear Jolene, I Will Always Love You, and 9 to 5, and Coat of Many Colors. That's all anybody knows. She's so.
And Wash Day Blues.
Oh yes, and watch it. No, no, and Touch Your Woman.
Yes.
Okay.
Traveling Man.
I need a man with the slow hand. Yes, pointer, sis, pointer. The fuck. I've only had a half a glass. No, I've had 2 glasses. But oh my god, Pointer Sisters with slow hand. I need a man with a slow hand. He need to just pay some attention. Pay me some mind. I need you to be slow. Don't be quick. Don't be come and go.
No trigger fingers.
Don't do it. I need a man with a slow hand. Okay.
A country hit remade by with Conway Twitty. And a country version.
Conway Twitty did that?
Yeah. Well, he did it in a different perspective. He said, "You want a man with a slow hand."
You want
I'm the guy with the slow hand, basically. That's what he was saying. Yeah.
I don't know. Conway Twitty doesn't make. I don't think.
In the
Tweety with a slow hand when I look at him.
He was in a thing where he was remaking a bunch of pop. He remade the Rose and that, and a couple others. The Rest Your Love on Me from the Bee Gees, and
the Rose.
He remade the Rose.
Yeah.
These are all singles too. I'm not talking album tracks. These were on the radio.
Wow. I've never heard.
He talked his way through. He's like, "Some say love, it is a river."
Well, he talked his way through a lot, though. Yeah, he talked through a lot of songs. Number 7, Duran Duran with Girls on Film. Girl on Film. I think it was a great single. This is probably on everybody's.
What you've had so far. Good.
What? Did you say the best one I've had? You know what? Eat something.
No, I think that I Know I Love You is probably the best song so far.
Jesus. I try to throw some variety and some spice up in here, and y'all are just boring. Okay.
Pointer Sisters. I like that one.
Pointer Sisters are awesome. Okay. Number 6. This is on, if it's on hate list, it's going to be on y'all's hate list. And it may not be, but this is my roller skating jam. This is like, yes. Yes, thank you very much, freaking Buckner and Garcia with Pac-Man Fever driving me crazy.
That's 81?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. And I was also playing Pac-Man at the roller rink while I was listening to Pac-Man Fever and then roller skating. Disco Duck would come on.
Every day.
Number
Nice.
5.
Look at that.
Oh, you have the whole album. I just have the 45. Yeah.
Includes like I'm in love with Frogger and something about Donkey Kong. They're all video game songs.
Yeah, they're terrible. And so is Pac-Man Fever, but it's nostalgia for me.
I had that album back in the day.
Number 5, OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark with Joan of Arc.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that one either.
So good. One of their best. Number 4 is Depeche Mode's Dreaming of Me. A Picture to See. Dreaming of Me. Number 3, Pat Benatar with Fire and Ice. Thank you. I love it. And this is probably my favorite Pat Benatar album.
I should have made that a runner-up. That was one of the few albums I listened to, and that was actually a pretty good album all the way through. I forgot to mention that.
And
very good album.
Precious Time.
Yeah, and Evil Genius, right? Evil Genius is on that one, right? No.
I don't know.
Evil Genius. Unless I just fucked up my Pat Benatar knowledge, but I think Evil Genius is on that album.
Yes,
we only got 2 more. Yeah.
I always liked Promises in the Dark.
Yeah, that's a good one too. But
It's a Tough Life is a good album track on here too. I don't know why I didn't mention this one.
Well, I'm here to remind you. Number 2, it was only a single. It wasn't on any other albums, and The Cure was Charlotte Sometimes. And my number 1 favorite single of 1981. Right? Yeah, we're in 81. All right. Susie and the Banshees was Spellbound.
Yeah, from Juju.
From Juju, and that's a fantastic album too.
Yeah.
All right, and now it's time to hear what the tops are for Richard for the year 1981.
Well, we're going to go through some events as usual. So, February 25th in the Grammys, people were shocked. Christopher Cross's Sailing took Album of the Year, beating out Pink Floyd The Wall.
Pink Floyd The Wall? That was like 79.
Well, there was the film.
Yeah, it was 82. Probably.
Well, that's what the report said.
That's
that
bizarre.
It beat The Wall.
God, I hate the Grammys. Always have.
Sailing.
And speaking of other disappointments on May 15th,
I hate when somebody justifies some bullshit by going, that's a Grammy winner. Yeah, that only leads to it being that's another
Milli Vanilli is Grammy winner.
Adele.
Yeah, Girl You Know It's True is a Grammy winner.
I know it's true.
And I know and it was that Grammy was worthy. Yes.
Didn't they give a Grammy to Wet Ass Pussy? Grammys are always trying to be like they did. They gave a Grammy to some
selling. It's as bad as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes, exactly. It's all just this bunch. Anyway, yes. What else happened?
Yes, May 15th.
Tell us about it, Richard.
There was a riot at the Ritz Rock Club in New York. Public Image was playing, but they were playing behind a screen, a video screen. And then on the PA system, it was completely different music while Public Image was playing. So the club just erupted in a riot. Of course, it was mentioned August 1st, MTV broadcast for the first time. And but we remember that it was Video Killed the Radio Star was the first video they showed. Name of the band?
The Buggles.
The Buggles, yeah.
What was the second video they ever showed?
Was it Pat Benatar's Shadows of the Night?
Oh, you're really close. It was Pat Benatar, but it was You Better Run.
Oh, really? I thought it was Shadows of the Night.
We were speaking about, Mike was mentioning the Pretenders before. On August 23rd in 1981, the Pretenders saw this group in Milwaukee busking outside, the Violent Femmes. So they invited them to play a 10-minute acoustic set as a second opening act for the Pretenders show that night. So really great opportunity for them while they're out there busking on the street.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Soft
I
Cell
did not know
tops
that.
the UK charts in September with Tainted Love, and also becomes the second best-selling single in the UK for 1981.
Wow.
Then this was kind of weird. October 27th, the British phonographic industry took out a newspaper ad unveiling its new slogan, "Home taping is killing music."
Yep.
So they wanted to have a tax on cassettes, and I'm like, oh yeah, it sure killed the music. I mean, how many
I
of us,
remember that.
were recording, sitting there with our tape player, with the, listening to the radio, getting ready for,
I used it.
waiting for that song that you
Every minute of every day.
I used to sit next to the radio or the TV and record the live performances on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. There we go. There's the
There
logo.
it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
home taping is killing music. Oh,
Yeah. No, it was the record companies that were killing music, not home taping.
Yeah.
And then October 31st, the punk band Fear made a memorable appearance on Saturday Night Live. The fans stormed the stage, damaging equipment. And it was one of the, I think might be the only time, but one of the few times where the show cut to commercial because it was a riot on stage during the live show.
oh wow.
That was the punk band Fear. I have one of their records.
Yeah, I don't.
Pretty good stuff. But anyway,
I have the CD.
of that particular Fear CD.
Yeah, Fear of the Record.
Yeah.
It's called The Record, but I have the CD.
Okay. So now for my albums, I start off with a couple singles. This is "Don't Send Me Away," Garfield Fleming. This is such an incredible single. Soul, disco, and for a long time, to buy this 12-inch single on this Beckett Records, you would be paying $400, $500 to get the single. And then a few years back, they finally reissued it. So you're still paying, it's like for a single, between $15 and $20 for the single. But it is really an incredible soul disco single. I mean, check out, look it up on YouTube. It is really a fantastic.
What is that?
Don't Send Me Away by Garfield Fleming.
Don't Send Me Away. I've never heard of that.
I had never heard of it either, and then I saw a video, and I'm like, man, this is great. I need to get this single. And but then that's when I was finding out that it was so rare and so expensive that I figured I would never ever get it. Got these 12-inch single for Soft Cell with Tainted Love, and mixed in with Where Did Our Love Go?
I learned just today that there were actually two different 45 versions of that released in the U.S. One had just Tainted Love, and the other one had, it was an edit. It was a 4.5 minute edit of the Where Did Our Love Go part in there too. So there really was two different versions of that promoted for radio.
And of course, that was from the album
so good.
Non-Stop Erotic Cabaret.
I still have not heard that. I've always meant to hear that whole album. And
I sold mine. I didn't. I liked Tainted Love and then Wave Hello, Say Goodbye.
That's what I've heard. I heard that Tainted Love is the only, and Where Did Our Love Go? And that doesn't have Where Did Our Love Go, right?
No. Wave Hello, Say Goodbye. I think it's the last song on it. It's like 7 minutes long or something.
Right, but that album doesn't have the Tainted Love going into Where Did Our Love Go?
The theme of the album is porn. I mean, there's
it's okay.
Which, by the way, look up the video for Sex Dwarf. That's definitely the one that never made MTV. But I've heard that the only good song on there is Tainted Love, and then Craig said the other one too. But I mean, I heard it's not that good of an album.
Yeah, I mean,
I got it because of Tainted Love, but the other songs they're all right.
But on that, Tainted Love does not go into Where Did Our Love Go, right?
No. It's
okay.
That's the song. This EP used to have it on cassette. Lena Lovitch, which was weird because the big song, New Toy, is a Thomas Dolby song. It's not Lena Lovich's. The other songs on here are Lena Lovich songs, but the one that was a hit was the Thomas Dolby song. I listened to this today because I saw that it was from 1981. This is The Residents, Mark of the Mole. This was the first record that was going to be part of the Mole trilogy, which is a theme between the mole people and the oh shit, I want to say not the grunt people, but now it's escaping me. But it's just more weirdness from the Residents, and it's actually a very good record if you like that kind of weirdness. The Fabulous Thunderbirds. I mean, the record we're reviewing later, blues. So there were some really good blues records that were released. And this one doesn't get a lot of recognition from the Fabulous Thunderbirds, Butt Rocket. But it is a really, really good, solid.
Did you say Butt Rocket?
That's right, Butt Rocket. And it's a good rockabilly, Texas blues. There's even a Tex-Mex song on there where Kimmy Wilson on the harmonica is just absolutely amazing. It's like he's like you would think he would run out of air
when he's great harmonica player.
Interesting thing about this is there's shoes, and then you can see he's got like a snakeskin shoe here, and then over here he's got a toeless cast on his foot. So he's got a broken foot or something like that. And then Kim Wilson has got these red and black shoes.
Ow.
Beating us with the record, so violent. Richard, you're so violent.
Oh, I know. It's the blues.
Beating us with butt rocket.
I love to be beat with butt rockets.
Oh my god, it's called Rockin', not Rocket.
This is Clarence Gatemouth Brown, Texas blues artist. This is All Right Again. One of the blues artists that Frank Zappa cites as a musical influence in his big list on the Freak Out album. And then another one with another Zappa connection. And this is the Johnny Otis show. All right, this particular record, Johnny Otis, big band leader. His son, Shuggy Otis, appears on here. And
Shuggy's great.
This was on the Alligator record label.
I got a bunch of Shuggy records. He's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Shuggy is interesting background. He played with his father's band, but when he was like 12 and 13 years old, but he was a reasonably big kid, but he wore sunglasses and a hat because they would be playing in establishments that sold alcohol, and he was underage. And then he also, for a couple songs, he was the bass player for Frank Zappa's Hot Rats album. Really? And that Hot Rats CD box set, you can hear some of the isolated tracks when he's playing. He was the only one that I could tell who didn't have to redo a track. He played it the way Frank wanted him to play it every time, and everyone else, they had to do retakes. I loved this album when it came out. Still enjoy it, not as much as I loved it then, but this is BLT. So this is Jack Bruce, Bill Lorden, and Robert Trower. So kind of like a super group post-Cream kind of thing with Robin Trower. Really heavy blues rock. Very good.
I've never even seen that.
And it's cheap. You can when you find it, it's
I love John Lord.
Another David Grisman, Japanese pressing. This is Mondo Mando, which is a very good bluegrass album, and I love that cover. I mean, seriously, that cover is just really just pretty wild, kind of cartoonish, almost like the artwork from, you remember the book Where the Wild Things Are, kind of that style of drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys perform in
Shel
Chicago. This is the Ethnic Heritage Ensemble. So this is a avant-garde jazz group. Caught them in Millennium Park in Chicago a couple summers ago. very amazing stuff. And in the funk realm, you got Rick James.
Oh, Rick
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
So-
one with the big song.
Right. Super Freak.
Yeah.
Super
She's
freaky.
super freaky.
Ow.
She's
Yeah.
the kind of girl
That's
you don't
not
take
Can't
home to
Touch
mother.
The
Room 714, I'll be waiting. That means Quaaludes.
yes.
Oh, I like
Mandrex.
that.
Mandrex, baby. So Zappa had 3 releases the year, and some of them are like, kind of half and half. There was Tinseltown Rebellion, which has some really good live tracks, live guitar solos. City of Tiny Lights is just an amazing guitar solo on there. He also released the You Are What You Is, which is a double album in which there's really only like maybe the one side 3 is really, really good. That's the one with You Are What You Is, Mud Club, about the nightclub in New York, The Meek Shall Inherit Nothing, and Dumb All Over. I just love Dumb All Over. Dumb All Over, and A Little Ugly on the Side. But there's some other songs, it's an uneven record. And there's a couple problematic songs. Frank Zappa, imagine problematic songs. But the release that, if you're the kind of person who really loves Frank Zappa's guitar playing, but really don't want to deal with the other stuff, then this is what you want to get.
Yeah, it's a great record.
Yeah, Shut Up and Play Your Guitar. This is the box set
Awesome.
for all 3 of the albums.
Oh, there's a
pure
box set
guitar
on it?
solo.
I didn't know he
There's
had
a
a
box set.
set
Are
for
you
that.
kidding?
I've never seen it.
Ship
I need.
Ahoy is probably one of the most amazing guitar solos ever in his catalog. So if you love Zappa's guitar but don't want to bother with his lyrical content, that's what you want to get.
I gotta look for that.
Tangerine Dream. This was the first Tangerine Dream album that I got, and really got me into electronic music. And even not the synth pop or anything, but the whole experimental electronic music. Loved this album, and it's probably their last good one. Their earlier material is good up to this album, and then after that, it's kind of spotty. Of course, X, the punk. There was still some good punk being made. We've got Wild Gift by X. Came out in 1981.
That's a good one.
Splash record.
Good record.
Never heard that one.
And this band, I've told this story many, many times about the Alley Cats, LA punk band, another LA punk band. When I was living in Tucson, there was this little club where, the friend said, "Hey, we've got to go see the Alley Cats." And we were all thinking Stray Cats, we were on the radio. So we go, and it's this trio punk band, hardcore punk, that at the time we thought sucked. But over time, I've really grown to like their music, and I have a few Alley Cat records. They later went on to become the Zarkons. And speaking of punk, DOA released this in 1981, Hardcore 81. Another pretty, as they say, tasty punk album. This one is it's all right. This is the Tubes. This was an okay album. Couple good
I'm telling
songs.
you, that's the theme from 1981. That's pretty good. It's all right. Done better.
Got Talk to You Later, and there's a couple songs that are Sushi Girl is probably a song that probably a lot of people would not think much of today. But overall, it's a pretty good album. And this was Moody Blues came back for a comeback with this one, Long Distance Voyager. Not as solid. It's good. It's really, really good. But all their earlier material, like Threshold of a Dream and Every Good Boy Deserves Favor and all those earlier psychedelic. Oh, I love the Moody Blues. I just love the
Yeah.
material.
Yeah, that's really uneven.
I find them
There's
pretentious.
great songs on there, and then there's really not great songs on there. I always like the voice.
Yeah, the voice is great.
So yeah, those are records I pulled, and we'll have to put away. But hey, it was a pretty good year, and like Robert was saying before, it was a lot of variety, and in different directions and things that were going on. Punk
disco was dead. Punk had moved to Los Angeles. Rock had gone corporate. It's just a new wave had gone pop. It's just a really bland year.
Richard, you missed the biggest event of 1981.
The US Festival?
Well, no, no. In March,
that's
Ronald Reagan was shot in March.
I saw that was one of them, but I don't know. I kind of just I wanted to avoid saying something inappropriate.
Spot.
You what, Craig?
I've been to that spot where he was shot.
Oh, really? I remember where I was. I remember exactly where I was.
Was it in DC?
Yeah, it was in DC.
Okay, I couldn't, because that trip I went to Philadelphia, I went to New York, I went to DC. I just know I've been to the spot where he was shot, but I just couldn't remember what.
So those are the tops of 1981, and now it's time for the bottoms. That's what time it is.
Bottoms.
Yes.
Bottoms.
Before we start, though, Craig had mentioned Willie Nelson.
Around now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's Willie Nelson's birthday today. So happy 90th birthday, Willie Nelson.
Old.
He has a new album out this year, which I will be reviewing on my video that will be uploaded on Sunday, if everybody wants to check that out, along with other albums from 2023. Anyway, yeah, it's a bland year for music. I mean, the best you can get is Billy Squier, Don't Say No, for God's sakes. And so, wow.
So the bottoms should be great.
Frank Zappa released 3 albums. I mean, how bad is this year going to get? Well, it's going to get even worse because there's some bottoms here, and I have 6. And a theme that started.
A theme with your bottoms.
A trend that started in 1981. But first, let me just talk about Billy Vera and the Beaters at this moment. I've already talked about this song, I think, in the 1986 one, but it actually was originally released. That was a re-release. That was a rechart. It came around for the first time in 1981. It was repopularized later on by Family Ties TV show. And it's the one where the white guy's trying to act all soulful and, if I could just hold you.
Never heard it.
No, nothing. Blank.
Again. It's terrible. It's awful. It's that bar. It's that white guy blues bar bull. It's terrible. It's awful.
Beautiful.
What would you think if I said at this moment, do you think I would raise my hand to hit you? It's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Just stop.
Well, the words.
Terrible. Used to be on all the time in 86. I didn't realize it came out for the first time in 81. Kiss released a concept album called Music from the Elder, which to this day I still have never heard. But there was a running theme. It was supposed to be a storyline, and their record company changed around all the tracks so that the story makes no sense now. There was a song on there, a single called "A World." These are all singles. "A World with No Hero," "A World Without Heroes." In the video for that song, Gene Simmons, in makeup, because they're still in makeup, so he's the demon, he cries, because it's a sad song. So the video ends with a tear going down the demon's face. I mean, what the fuck, people? Come on.
Bless his heart.
Speaking of faces, there was "Shut Up, You Face" from Joe Dolce. That whole, I don't know if the guy's really Italian or if he was just pretending, but it's almost
I don't know if he was.
Hey, shut up in your face! Life is a beautiful, blah blah blah. Hey, blah blah blah. Hey, my mama said, spicy meatball, or whatever. It's supposed to be a Nolly song.
It's a nicer place. Yeah, I know that shit.
Oh my god!
You're not surprised. Hey, it wasn't on my top though.
Here's a couple of cover songs. You had the Manhattan Transfer coming around with the boy from New York City.
They ain't no ad-libs.
The ad-libs version wasn't really that great anyway. Why would they come along and redo... Tell me about the... Hey!
Manhattan Transfer's version is horrible, but I
the
love
Manhattan Transfer's horrible. Jazz is horrible.
Well, they
So
are
I mean,
horrible,
it goes
yeah.
with it all goes hand in
Two
hand.
of
It's a
those three
chain.
statements are true.
The Manhattan Transfer Christmas album is very good.
Oh, for God's sakes!
John,
Speaking of covers,
Hey,
John
someone who doesn't
Schneider,
like Christmas music, John
the Dukes of Hazzard, decided that he should have a singing career. Later on, he did have somewhat of a successful country career when he switched labels, but first he was on a Scotty Brothers, and he decided to come out with a cover of an Elvis Presley tune called "It's Now or Never."
Not good.
It's terrible with him and his stupid blonde hair and his gut. I never liked John Schneider ever. Just want to go on record as saying that, and I definitely don't like him now because.
Guy.
Yes, I was much more into Luke than Bo,
Bo.
and because everybody had their. It was like Keith Richards or Mick Jagger, John or Paul. You know, you had to either choose whether you were on Team Bo or Team Luke.
Or Team Luke, yeah, Bo.
I did not like John Schneider.
Alive.
He's still alive, bitching about wokeness or what. Who gives a shit? You don't get to fucking kill an Elvis Presley song and then go on and talk about anything. It's now or never. If you can't sing that well, there's other Elvis Presley songs that are easier to sing. Don't pick his most operatic hit and try to do that. It's terrible.
That's one of my favorite Elvis songs too.
Well, Elvis Presley is really impressive with his. I mean, if you want to talk about his voice, that's where he really puts it out there. Like it's big operatic thing.
Oh, good.
Speaking of TV people doing covers, how about Andy Gibb with Victoria Principal? Up in here trying to remake All I Have to Do Is Dream.
Oh.
That was on the radio, people.
Yeah,
Victoria Principal. Just like Dukes of Hazzard on Dallas, you were either Team Pam or Team Sue Ellen.
Sue Ellen, but they were different. Well,
she was something Gray.
Linda Gray. Linda Gray. Linda Gray. I was all about Sue Ellen. I did not like Pamela at all. Yeah. Her little goody two-shoes act. Woman, you are with like the Ewings. Cut the bullshit. Anyway, she teamed up with Andy Gibb and tried to do and she's in the song for like 5 seconds. It's stupid. But there was a trend that started this year, and it got really big, and it's really awful. And it's the whole medley thing. And it started with Stars on 45 doing like a bunch of old hits. It's this like elevator music group. Then they did Beatles. They did the Stars on the 45's Beatles medley. That was the worst, where they sung like hooks for all these Beatles songs, and there's like 15 Beatles songs in like 4 minutes. Then there was the Hooked on Classics thing, where they had the medleys of classicals. Then there were like lower tier groups that tried to imitate the Imitators. And like the hits of the 60s, it's Summer 63, whatever it was. And then record labels went, wait a minute, these are becoming big hits. Why don't we own the rights to these people. Why don't we just make our own medleys from the real things? So then we get the Beach Boys medley. Then we get the Elvis medley. And then in 1982, we get the Beatles movie medley. It's like, what in the fuck is going on?
Medley.
I have that single.
Oh,
Medley Madness.
I used to go to this bar.
I have that Beatles single.
Where there was this bartender, and he would, it was late at night, so he was the only bartender there during the week. And because I would go to bars on like Thursdays at 2 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, on the way home from work. So, 1 o'clock in the morning. But so he would have his laptop playing on the sound system unless someone played the jukebox. And I don't know if Home Slice was getting like a percentage of the jukebox money or whatever. But it was almost like he was trying to force people to play the jukebox. He would play the stupid Beatles, hooked on the Beatles, hooked on, Stars on 45 shit. He wouldn't play the 7-inch version. He would play the like 8-minute, 12-inch versions. And try to tell people, oh, well, you get to hear like 12 Beatles songs in 10 minutes instead of... Anyway, terrible. And this guy was gay. So there's no excuse.
Wow.
And, just awful.
Wow.
And, it started this whole medley trend where it just...
I didn't realize that was such a big thing, but it was.
It was. It spurred this whole thing. Yeah. The Stars on 45 had like 5 different singles on the radio. And then they had their imitators, like the Hooked on this and Hooked on that, and then they had like people that weren't even that good. It was like, if people don't know what I'm talking about, it was like this elevator music group of people singing, got to get you into my life, ba 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 ba. Hey, it's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. I mean, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why would you? I get why you would do that.
Terrible.
Why would you buy that? Again, just like I said last week with the 1963, who goes into the store?
It's the
And you've got the Pretenders. You've got Billy Squier. You've got whatever, Joan Jett. You've got Prince. You've got Depeche Mode's first album, which I can't believe no one mentioned, which, by the way, I'll also be reviewing their new album on my video.
Craig mentioned the single.
Yeah, okay. Well, you've got Depeche Mode. You've got, probably something from Kate Bush. You've got Blondie or something from the year before. No, hell with all that. I'm spending my money on Stars on 45. Who were these people?
These were it's the 1980s version of the 1960s, when you had Ray Conniff and Paul Moriarty and, all this, the soft
Yeah, but
music.
Ray Conniff wouldn't do like medleys of like hard rock. You didn't have the Ray Conniff singers do the Jimi Hendrix medley or some shit.
Oh,
they did their own
wasn't
thing.
around yet, but it's that same kind of thing. It's that that group of people who just want they like the songs, but they don't like that hard edge to it. Give me something that I can sip my martini and go into oblivion with.
They on the Beatles thing, they did "Good Day Sunshine," "My Sweet Lord," here, which isn't a Beatles song. "Here Comes the Sun," "While My Guitar Gently." They're really into George.
Yeah, there's another one.
"Taxman," "A Hard Day's Night," "Please Please Me," "From Me to You," and "I Want to Hold Your Hand." If there's anything that you want, hey, if there's anything that you need, just call on me. I'll send it along. Good. What the hell?
There was more than one then.
Yeah, there was.
There was a medley that also had like Venus and Sugar, and then it went into Drive My Car and Do You Want to Know the Secret?
That's what I'm saying. They had different ones.
And
then they had 7-inch versions and they had 12-inch versions.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And you're right. People were buying them.
People were buying them.
They loved them.
What the hell? What's wrong with people?
Well,
those are my
time.
Okay, get it, Mikey. Well, you're done, right, Fitton?
Are you done with it?
Okay.
Okay, so I actually have some honorable bottoms.
Oh, I love honorable bottoms.
I don't normally do that. Well, Starship.
It almost sounds like praise.
Right. Starship released a horrible album called Modern Times. Grace Slick made a solo record called Welcome to the Wrecking Ball. And you have to see the cover of...
Oh, is that it? No, that's the Starship.
No, that's the
No, that's Modern Times.
Yeah, you have to see the cover of Grace Slick's Welcome to the Wrecking Ball.
Welcome.
It is
I'm looking
horrible.
Okay.
Olivia Newton-John released Physical.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There are some good songs on that. What was the Grace Slick called? Welcome to what?
Welcome to
I
the
thought I
Wrecking
had that,
Ball.
but I don't. Welcome to the Wrecking Ball. Maybe it's under Slick.
Oh, sure, probably, yeah. Hooked on Classics.
What the hell is that?
I know, right? It's awful. The Stray Cats, one of the most horrible bands of all time. I don't think it was. I don't know if they debuted, but man, they started to get big in 1981. Private Eyes by Hall & Oates.
They're watching you. Watching you.
Everywhere. Neil Young released Reactor, which people are now going back and saying, "Oh no, that's a good record." But at the time, everyone said that thing sucked. It was actually with Crazy Horse too. And Rod Stewart's "Tonight I'm Yours." Sorry, Craig.
How dare you?
And
how
then
dare you?
1981. There it is. 1981 is one of those years that, like, a band. These aren't horrible albums, but these are like the last listenable albums that these bands ever made. And I pulled 4 of them.
Oh.
Genesis Abacab. It's the last album that I can possibly even tolerate by this
I
band.
heard that for the first time last year. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. Styx, Paradise Theater, last decent album by this band. They never made another record after this.
They didn't make too many good ones before that either.
There's a couple.
Too Much Time on My Hands is on there though, right?
Yes.
That's the only good song they have.
Last good one from them.
Last listenable one from them. Put this on. It's
one.
not. Revisit this. It's not great.
It's hard to listen to.
You know what it is? It's a Who album without Keith Moon, and it sounds like a Who album without Keith.
There's like
Moon.
Maybe one.
Nothing against Kenny Jones. He's a terrific drummer. He's not Keith Moon.
I think there's only one song that's like halfway decent.
Is that the one with You Bet or You Bet?
Yeah,
that's the one.
Another tricky day is pretty decent, but other than that,
I like that one. Another Tricky Day.
Yeah, and then Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton was, knee deep in his singer-songwriter period, which actually has been most of his career. He gives up the guitar pretty much and just sings and writes songs. And this is another ticket. There's some okay songs on here. It's all right, but man,
he started going downhill with Slow Hand.
People think that that's a live album because of the ticket on the front.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Yeah. This has the big song. What was it? I Can't Stand It, I think.
Yeah, I Can't Stand It.
Oh, God. Yeah, I Can't Stand It.
You're fooling around. I can't stand it. Yeah. Running around.
And then last was Steve Miller did Circle of Love, which is probably his last listenable album.
Well, side one.
Cover.
Side one, yeah.
Isn't side two one song called Macho City? That's terrible.
Yeah. Terrible.
It's like Steve Miller tries to rap.
Side one has Heart Like a Wheel.
Yeah, I like Heart Like a Wheel.
Yeah,
I really like Heart Like a Wheel, but that Macho City's awful.
It's awful. Yeah, and that's it. And there were some others I probably could have pulled out, but
I got a heart like a wheel, baby. I really like the guitar in that. The sound.
He's a wonderful guitarist. Even his bad records have wonderful guitaring on them. Craig.
I'm sorry, I just looked at my dog and how cute she is back there all sprawled out on her blanket. She's so cute. Yes, I'm talking about you. Okay, bottoms for me. Well, most of it's ruined, but that's okay.
A ruined bottom. How did that happen?
Yeah. I've never ruined a bottom.
Let me tell you about my ruin.
Is it the term wrecked?
Oh, yes. My bottoms are...
We discussed this.
There's some wrecked bottoms up in here. Okay. Oh, wait. And then up in here. I'm not supposed to say that either.
I don't think the bottom gets erect. Anyway. Well, they can. It's not important. It's more important for the top to get erect.
Okay.
Okay. So this
is
not necessarily a bottom or like... This was just really interesting because when I saw this person's name, I was like, they had a single in 1981. What were they, like, barely born? And she did a version of Out Here on My Own, which was from Spain the previous year. And it was Nika Costa. And I fucking love Nika Costa. And I didn't know who she was until 2001, which everybody got their something. And I'm like, she was a freaking child singer, and she released a single when she was like 9. It's terrible. It's not good. Like, she was 9. It was a child trying to sing freaking Irene Cara from Fame song. But I was like, I did not know that. Yeah, and I love Nika Costa. I love her, and I love that album. Everybody got their something. So good. But yes, so it's kind of like bottom, but kind of not really, because they did not realize that.
Yeah, you can't blame a child.
Well, I'm not blaming. It was like wow, I didn't realize that she was like a child singer. I guess I just never looked at her Wikipedia when I really, really liked her, but that's my fault, I guess. Okay. I hate. Should I give another? Yeah, let's do another hate. Fucking 8675309, Jenny. I got your fucking number. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. Tommy, fucking shut
everywhere.
up. Tommy,
I forgot
shut up. Shut up. Tommy
Every
Two-Tone.
school.
I never really cared for that either.
I don't, and everybody.
And the vocalist sings. I don't know what his name is.
It's
Jenny,
so
Jenny, who would I turn to? Here's a fun fact: Tommy Two-Tone is the name of the group.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was the way singer.
No, Tommy Two-Tone is the name of the group. So is Danny Wilson with that Mary's Prayer or whatever. Danny Wilson is the name of the band.
Yeah, there's quite a few that do that. There's Milo something. Milo Green is the band too.
Delamitri.
Really good. Yeah.
Is the band.
Y'all ever heard of Ottawan? Ottawan. Look them up.
No.
They did this groovy song called Hands Up, Give Me Your Heart. Hands up, yeah. And they love their Angel Face. I love you, Angel Face. Hands up, hands up. There's a really groovy video. Check it out. Robert, maybe you should put it in the crappy video thing. Find the live version where everybody's holding signs that say hands up. And they're going, but it's this really jazzy, not jazzy, but this kind of dancey. It's terrible. It's awful. But the audience is just kind of going like this. And then they're holding their signs that say hands up. But that's not the important part. The important part is the song is terrible. I don't care that you've been waiting for a girl like me, Foreigner.
Yeah.
Shut up. The song is stupid. Yeah. I love Urgent. It's the only thing I love of you, Foreigner. I don't care that you're waiting
big
for
album
me.
too. That also had
huge for some reason, and it's not
that
good.
Yeah.
I only like Urgent.
It also had Jukebox. Jukebox Hero was on that.
Too.
Yeah,
my brother had the 8-track.
That was a huge album.
So like my
Girl on the Moon.
So is this like my ending is kind of not good, but I'll still go into it. Josie Cotton, Johnny, are you queer? Is that bad? Is that a bottom?
I never liked it. I don't know. It was
crass.
I've never heard it.
You've never heard Johnny? Are you queer?
It was on the Valley Girl soundtrack. Valley Girl
that's
movie.
Not the Sanders, Ed Sanders.
Johnny,
song.
are you queer, boy?
He did that one, Johnny, why did you beat back queer?
No,
he didn't cry or nothing.
No, that's not. No, this is Josie. She's like wondering if Johnny, the hottest boy in the land, or whatever. She's wondering if he's queer.
One of these girls who fall in love with a gay boy.
Well, he's not reacting to her or responding to her.
So she's wondering,
so she's a complete fucking narcissist who's like, oh my god, if a guy's not into me,
somebody's not looking at me, they must be queer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you're just ugly.
So I've never even heard it.
And you have a bad reputation, Josie Cotton.
I don't need. Never mind. I'm gonna give a damn about my bad reputation.
No, that's a much better song.
Yeah. Okay, so I had my whole spiel about Stars on 45. I'm just gonna go ahead and ignore my whole spiel on Stars 45 because, like, what the fuck about Stars 45? But that's already been covered. And my fucking worst of the fucking 1981, and here my fucks are coming out again. Andy Gibb and Victoria Principal with All I Have to Do Is Dream, and she sings the entire song with them because I watched the freaking performances.
Well, she's mixed really low.
She
killed him
on the actual recording,
and I'm like, Pammy, don't sing.
He was dead shortly after that, wasn't he?
But he came back in a shower, I think.
It is Elevator. No. That's Bobby is dead. Bobby. Andy Gibb was dead shortly after this, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think he died in 82. Maybe 80.
Maurice Gibb woke up and was like, Andy's in the shower. I thought he
Yeah,
died.
there's the Andy's over there. Yeah, that is what happened, right? Right? What happened was this just oh my god. I need to have a
Love
nap.
is thicker than water in the shower.
Wine is thicker than
And clog the drain.
wine is not thick, but it's my friend today. So
Wow, this is like a live episode for Craig.
it is totally like that's the kind of bad. And then my number one was ruined because you mentioned it.
Damn Stars on
Oh,
45 ruined it.
That fifth and he ruins my life.
I ruined your bottom.
You ruined my bottom. It was like the best bottom
Why
ever.
does this keep happening?
My bottoms constantly are getting ruined. Like this thing.
Your bottom was wrecked.
Stop wrecking my bottoms, Vithin.
If I had a dime.
Hey,
You'd have a dime.
Yeah, I'd have about 30 cents. And now it's time for Richard and his bottoms from 1981.
so some of these are not. These are bottoms. They're all ones I hate, but I think some of them are ones that some of you will agree with, some of you may like. But my first one,
Yeah, that's some straight up Chicago shit right there.
Yeah, that's my neighborhood.
yeah. First dishonorable mention is Blue Oyster Cult's "Burning for You." Not so much because I hate it.
I love
It was a big disappointment for me.
Well, yeah, I could see that. I could see how it's a letdown.
I mean, I love Blue
But I
Oyster
loved
Cult. They're one of the bands, of the few bands that I have seen live multiple times.
Really?
Yeah, it just that song was like, God, guys, this is so weak.
Well, they were kind of a cult band, no pun intended. And then all of a sudden, they're popular and they're selling records and they're top of the charts because that song was probably in the top 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, it was a big
long
hit.
time.
It was a big
Yeah,
hit.
the whole album was very popular.
Yeah.
So
They got a lot of the lyrics from Jack Kerouac's On the Road book.
Yeah.
So I think
Which is a book I don't like. I really think Jack Kerouac is overrated. I really never liked that book.
I agree.
Anyway, the next dishonorable mention is Roxy Music's cover of "Jealous Guy."
Oh, it's not
I
good.
just hated what they did
Never
to
heard
that
that.
song.
It's not good.
It's just blech.
And it's like really long too, right? Isn't it like 7 or 8 minutes long?
Yes, Brian Ferry gets so full of himself that he just kind of like drags things out.
A Jealous Guy, the John Lennon song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like only like
Wasn't
either
even-
like a B-side or
Wasn't
like
that
on a
very long.
compilation or something or
No,
I've
it
never
was
heard that.
on. Wasn't it on Avalon?
no? It's not. I don't think it's on Avalon.
Okay.
And Jealous Guy is on Double Fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, Jealous Guy's on Imagine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is.
Okay,
It
I
is.
lied.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So
For
I was like,
correcting me.
you're doing a cover from a song on Double Fantasy like less than a year after he's shot and killed. That's
yeah,
kind of
no,
classless. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard that. That sounds absolutely horrible.
Yeah. And this other dishonorable mention is, I get what he was trying to do, and he was clever with a lot of the songs that he did, but I was getting real tired of Weird Al Yankovic when he did Another One Rides the Bus.
Yeah.
It was
You were
just-
already tired of him in
How could you be-
1981?
You were tired of him on his debut album.
They were, it was.
Imagine how you feel 30 years later.
It was, the songs were tolerable. I didn't necessarily hate them, but yeah, after a while, I'm like, why do they keep playing this crap?
Another One Rides the Bus contains the lyric, I haven't been in a crowd like this since I went to see The Who.
Oh.
Going back to what we were talking about a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, he makes a funny reference to that.
Have you seen the documentary? The biopic?
No.
Biopic.
With, what's his Harry Potter guy?
Absolutely. You should definitely watch it. It's great.
It's mostly
classic
made
weird.
up.
Richard
Who
probably,
apparently, the Harry Potter
Richard
guy
probably won't like it. But
apparently
it's
has
really well done.
some big balls. Anyway.
Anyway,
I don't know. He hangs out with Madonna the whole time, and he met her for 3 seconds in his real life.
Don't give it away.
If
It's
Madonna
supposed to be like a
calls,
parody
I'm
of a
not
parody.
here.
It's
I
classic
just,
Weird
that's
Al.
why I haven't seen. I'm not giving it away. I haven't seen it. I just know that. I know he hangs out with Madonna. I'm like, he only met her for 3 seconds in his real life. I don't really see this.
It's great.
Madonna calls,
All right,
tell
maybe
her
I'll
I'm
watch
not here.
What the hell's that guy's name?
Who?
What?
Harry Potter.
Oh, Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe, yeah, plays Weird Al.
You're welcome.
He's really good.
Okay. Well, number 10 now on my bottoms is Rick Springfield's Jessie Girl.
Yeah, I was never
Jessie
big into
Girl.
that.
But I wish I had Jesse's Girl.
Well,
Or maybe
the
I
whole
just wish I
spelling
had
of
Jessie.
too is
I
so
don't
weird
know.
because it's like, I don't know. The song confused me at the time, and
It's so big too.
It's not that good.
Huge.
Pat Benatar's husband plays guitar on that song.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
He does?
He does.
I didn't know that.
Robert Fitton, he always knows everything.
I know. Look at that.
He used to be a DJ on a radio station.
He might need to be.
Because anyway.
No. Robert Smith and Smith. What the fuck?
Well,
I
no,
don't know how to
Robert Smith and-
I'm gonna start wearing lipstick.
You know.
Robert.
Smudge it right here.
Robert Smith.
Shut up. I
Never
know
cutting my
his
hair
goddamn
again.
name. I say it all the
Numbers 8.
time.
Numbers 9 and numbers 8. Numbers 9 and 8. There we go.
What?
Are both Foreigner. Waiting for a Girl Like You and Jukebox
Awful.
Girl like you.
I've never been a Foreigner fan anyway, but those songs in particular really annoyed the hell out of me.
What annoys the hell out of me is the single for Jukebox Hero and the album records where they have all the single versions. Jukebox Hero is like 6 seconds shorter. It fades out instead of ending cold, and so it trims like 6 seconds off the song. Like, why would you do that?
Nothing irritates me more than a song fading out. Any song, anything. I never understood fade out.
I think it's just because the band was jamming for too long. In the 60s and 70s, maybe the band just continued to play, but they had to fit it on the record, so they had to find a place
maybe.
to fade it
Yeah.
out. I think that's probably what was going on.
But why would you take 6 seconds out of a song?
Well,
Yeah,
that makes no sense
6
at all.
To
seconds
annoy
is
you.
Yes.
And it does have a great ending. I mean, the regular
Right.
ending.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, just end the fucking song. Number 7 is Pac-Man Fever, Buckner and Garcia. It's
knew
not
it
that I
had to be
really
on
hate
someone's
the
list.
song, I played. I had the Pac-Man routine down where I knew how to do everything and then hide my muncher or whatever the hell you call it
Muncher.
for a few seconds and then come back out again, and I played Missile Command and Galaxian and Asteroids and Space Invaders.
Yeah.
At the time, I was working at a group home for these teenage boys, and one night it was for the ones who had the highest behavior ratings. We went out to an arcade, and so I give them a handful of tokens. Figure we're going to be here for about an hour. And at the end, the other boys are coming around. They've used up their tokens. I've used up my tokens. And so go check this other kid out, and he's still playing. So I let him know, hey, we're getting ready to leave. So is this your last token? And he says, no, this is my first token.
Oh my.
He was still playing on his first token. He had over 1 million points
Wow.
on this particular game. And that was the day I quit playing video games. Number 6.
It's also the highlight of that kid's life, by the way.
Probably.
Yeah, if he didn't get a job in the military or something like that, it's like Jesus. I hope he didn't wind up in jail, because that was the kind of kids I was working with. Olivia Newton-John, Physical. We've talked about. This was mentioned before.
The video's great though.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Physical, and the video was one of the first videos to have gay guys in it, and
It's
Good.
Fuck.
Very sexy.
Daryl Hall and John Oates at number 5 with "Kiss on My List."
Yeah, that's kind of a cheese ball.
I just hate that song. And
Although I
the
can't
next
go for that.
the next
No can
four,
do.
number
No
4,
can do.
Journey, "Don't Stop Believing." God, I hate
Was
Journey.
that
Jesus, I just really can't stand Journey. Played golf with
There's
them,
only
but I can't stand any of their music. Number
Don't
3.
Stop Believing, one of the few songs to save the chorus until almost the end of the song.
See, again, Robert Fiffen knows.
Yes. Number 3, Genesis with Abacab. We talked about the whole album, but the song in particular, I just really didn't like.
Never heard it.
This one I don't like, and I'm also really disappointed with it as well. And that's REO Speedwagon's "Take It on the Run."
Take It on the Run,
I like that
baby.
song.
was
I
that
love
81?
REO Speedwagon, but this was kind of like, Jesus.
I think the album probably came out in 80, but yeah,
Yeah.
because that was one of the later singles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was the
that
second
album.
one after "Keep on Loving You." I don't mind that song at all.
Yeah,
My number 1 bottom. Maybe I'm not surprised that somebody else didn't already say it. Maybe I am surprised. But the Oak Ridge Boys and Elvira.
How dare you?
How dare you? Papa, papa,
Oh,
papa,
God,
mau,
that
mau.
song
They used to play that
is
one at
Yeah.
the school.
And it's
dances,
another one
too.
where the single version
Yeah,
edits out the
fuck.
guy going, "Yeah." What's his name? Richard?
I forgot about
my
that.
heart is on fire.
That
for
song
you,
was around for a
Elvira.
long time before the Oak Ridge Boys did it too.
Yeah,
and
it
really?
it had been recorded by Kenny Rogers in the first edition and a couple of other people too.
Not as good.
Written by
Yeah.
Dallas Frazier.
Boom, diddy, boom, diddy. Oh, God.
I think you had to be the right age for that.
And I think
man,
that we were probably
popular,
like
a
right
child?
for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That and
Yeah.
it's a family
That-
song. It's a child's. Even though it's about a sexy woman or whatever, it is a family. You know, all the
And he
kids
just
love it.
saved
And that
up
type of
his
thing.
last $2.
It's the kind of thing where the whole family likes the song, and mom and dad like it, and the kids like it. It's similar to like "Swingin'," you know, John Anderson.
Swing like Tarzan. and
Well, there
Jane.
you go. Those are my bottoms.
Just swinging. There's a little girl in our neighborhood. You don't know that song?
No, I was swinging like Tarzan and Jane.
And
Wow.
the boys are swinging.
Yeah.
That's, but you know Elvira. That's odd. That song was a phenomenon.
Oh yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. It was huge, and I hated it
I
every
did
time
too.
they played it.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Papa,
You're welcome.
Papa, mau, mau.
Hi, oh
Oh,
silver.
silver.
Away.
Away.
Elvira.
Probably because I really
I always
hated,
wanted to be a lady named
I
Elvira.
really
because of that.
hated country music at that time.
Oh,
The way
yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
the country crossover kind of thing that was going on. I mean, I like
Fancy
country
free.
music.
Yeah, because that was
Fancy free,
that was
right?
played on rock radio.
Yeah, I have it
that was
too.
played everywhere.
Yeah.
I have it too.
And a gatefold.
And they're on the
Ooh.
fancy car. Look at that.
Oh,
Mhm.
Dear God.
I think
So
that's supposed to be
good.
Elvira.
That is totally Elvira. She's a sexy sex pot. Rawr, Elvira. Mm.
So what
What
year
was
are we
Elvira-
doing
what was
next
the
week?
name of the woman?
Oh
who did
yeah,
the
what are
late
we doing
1980s
next
show?
week? Hold on.
She was
Vampire.
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Yeah.
Yes, I love her.
Those are great.
That's why I
movies.
wanted to marry Elvira. I wanted to marry
Elvira
her.
Peterson?
Her.
Is that her last name?
I think it
Peterson?
was Peterson. Yeah.
She used to twirl
Pasties
tassels
on there. Yeah.
and make them go opposite directions. That's hard to do,
Yeah.
apparently.
Very
Y'all
hard
ready
to
for
do.
this?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're ready.
Next week, we are going to party like it's 1999
Why would we do that?
because 1999 is what I just pulled.
Wow. The bottoms will
that-
overwhelm the tops.
That'll be interesting. I don't know if anything
They
was
usually
good in
do.
99.
Have some power bottoms for 1999.
There's going to be a lot. Most of them will
Yeah, I
be by
got it.
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I don't know how much I have from 1990.
We'll find out.
We're gonna find out.
Stay tuned for next week when we
Stay
tell you
tuned.
all about 1999.
Yeah.
All right, and that leads us to our album review, which is from 1975, and it's the blues with Coco Taylor, and I Got What It Takes, re-released for Record Store Day this year. This is one of 3 that I got for Record Store Day. I know I had my want list was a lot larger, but I settled on 3. This was one of them. It was her debut for Alligator Records. Who's first to talk about this? I think it's Mike.
Mike.
Oh, is it me?
Tunes.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
you. It's you,
Oh.
boo boo.
Sweet. I got my notes. They're there. So this is a cool record. I've never heard it before. It wasn't on my want list, but it was on my watch list for Record Store Day. And if I see it, I'm gonna grab a copy. I really like it. The band is tight. This band is really, really good. The album is extremely well recorded. I thought the sound on it, at least from my streaming, I haven't heard the vinyl. It sounds like it's recorded very, very well. And I will say I liked more of the R&B songs a little bit more than the like more bluesy songs. The opening track I loved, great. I Got What It Takes. Her voice is so damn good. Her vocals on that song, I Got What It Takes, are top notch. I mean, she's just amazing. Mama, he treats your man. Mama, he treats your, you know what I'm saying.
Daughter
I
mean.
absolutely love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I loved it. I thought it was really well done. It's a cool song, and she's so convincing when she's telling the story and everything. Voodoo Woman, I really like. Honky Tonky, love that song. Again, it was more of the R&B coming out. I really like that. Her cover of Big Boss Man. Everyone's covered Big Boss Man from the Grateful Dead. I mean, everyone's covered that song.
Oh.
I love
Elvis Presley had the big
Elvis,
hit with it.
Huh.
Really big hit with it. The Grateful Dead used to do it for years and years. It was part of their repertoire, probably till the end. Really good cover. A really solid cover. Find a Fool, my favorite song on the record. I love that song. I thought it was great. I don't know. Something about that song just like when it started, I was in the car and I turned it up. And it was the first time listening to where I was like, okay, I'm cranking this. It was great. Happy Home, what a great song. Really, really cool. And That's Why I'm Crying. I think it's the last song. I think it's the last song on the album.
Yeah.
What a great song. It's just a perfect closer to the whole album. It's probably my second favorite song on the record. This is fun. This is the kind of, and I think I said when we reviewed the Big Mama Thornton, which I didn't care for as much, mostly because I think at the time I probably said I like my blues to have screeching guitar. I like blues guitar and stuff, and the guitarist on this is very good, but this has more of because it's a much later recording. Obviously, what is it, 75?
75, yeah.
75. So it's a much later recording, and but I like the soulful R&B sound that gets mixed in with just the pure blues, and I really loved it. I'm gonna definitely seek it out if I see it in a bin somewhere, Record Store Day bin. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna give it 4 rainbows. Really well done. I got to see her once live at Buddy Guy's place.
Oh wow.
She was absolutely spectacular. This is probably in the late 90s, I think I saw her, early 90s. And she was great, and Buddy came up and played with her, and it was.
I would have killed to see that show.
Oh, it was unreal. Yeah, it was unreal. We also saw her at a really tiny place. It was just a beer bar way out in the far north suburbs. I think it was called Shades. And it was just a dump in the middle of nowhere. And she was there one night, and the place maybe held 200 people. And she played there that night, and also great. Her vocals. I don't think she gets enough credit. I know people talk about her, but she's up there with her singing. She is really, really good. So yeah, definitely 4 rainbows. This is awesome.
It's my turn.
Yes.
This hunk of crap. No, just kidding. I'm so lying. I'm so lying. So I started it listening to it in the car, and Trying to Make a Living came on, and her voice came out like in my car, and I was like, Jesus, how have I never heard this woman? Like, I'm like, how have I never heard her? Because this is my jam. These are the type of women I love. That sounds wrong.
I thought of you the whole time I was listening to it. I was like,
this is the woman I want to listen to. I want you to tell me how you're trying to make a living. Tell me. And she was telling me, and I was listening, and I'm right here, girl. I'm listening to you. I Got What It Takes. She got what he gonna deny his name. Watch out for her. Ooh, girl. She got what it take. Watch it out. Okay. Mama, he treats your daughter mean. I just wanted to Ruth Brown. So all I have in my head is Ruth Brown, and not that it's terrible. I love the way, but I just listened to it the first 3 times. I kind of had to start to skip. Ruth Brown is just where it's at when it comes to that song for me. So again, not terrible. I liked it, but I've got Ruth Brown in my head. I got, Motormouth Mabel. Motormouth. Okay. I've got Find a Fool with exclamation points. Like that one was really like, yeah. I didn't know Big Boss Man. You said 90 million people covered it. I'd never heard it in my life. So the blues never die. Sometimes with blues music, I know I'm listening to blues music. I know that we're talking about the blues, that we got the blues and we got the blues so bad. Why are you telling me? I know I'm listening to the blues. I got the big ass blues. I got gonorrhea yesterday blues. The doctor called me and said, "Hey, what up? You got gonorrhea blues?" Like everybody's got a different kind of blues, and it's like, okay, I get it, but I'm listening to the blues, so I don't need to know what kind of blues. I got the rooster fucked my chicken next door blues. I don't know. There's all these kind of blues. Shut up, Craig. It's been a week, and I've drank a lot of wine tonight, and God damn it.
Well, no, it's the same thing as rock music where people are like, yeah, you got me rocking, and we're rock and roll all night, and the same thing,
you're rocking and you're rolling me, and
yeah.
I mean, but I've never heard anybody say I've got the opera. I've got the
opera. Disco. We're on the disco train. Disco Inferno.
You might be on it. Yeah, disco. We're all over the disco train place, Inferno, whatever, with our disco. Yeah,
I've got the avant-garde.
Yeah,
I was country when country wasn't cool.
Coco. Why have I never loved you and caressed you and listened to you with my ears? And why have I never known of this Coco? The world will never know until Robert Fitton said, Craig, you're going to listen to goddamn Coco Taylor. So thank you, Robert Fitton, for making
You're welcome. I feel the same way. I had not really experienced a lot of her before either. It was Record Store Day. It was really what really did it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that, and I don't know, but yeah, I'm glad that you picked it up, and same thing, like Mike said, if I find, I will own this, and I'm gonna seek out some other stuff. I think I'll probably listen to some. I don't know if anybody else has listened to any of her other catalog, but I'd be curious. We can talk about
a few things. I think this is a really good starting point for somebody who hasn't listened to Coco Taylor before.
And I'm on the 4 train with Mike. 4 for Coco. Coco.
Wow.
Yeah, because here comes Richard to give it 2.
Richard's gonna shit all over
Richard
it.
is
I
here
am
to give
really-
it 0.5.
I'm really disappointed with the two of you.
Might as well make it 3. I would have chose it.
I don't know why you didn't give it 5 rainbows. This album, from start to finish, is, for me, near enough perfect blues album that you will ever come across. And her voice and her ability to just adapt to the different song. Yeah, Big Boss Man, I like the Grateful Dead version. I mean, you know, that's a great version, Pigpen, especially the one, you know, when he's singing it. But at the same time, she's more traditional blues. And so she's going to play it like a traditional blues. The guitar players, they're very understated, but they're there. That's the thing about blues. You know, whenever you've got an artist, whenever the artist's strength is going to be, that's what's going to come forward. Stevie Ray Vaughan, his strength is playing the guitar. So his blues, and he plays a lot of traditional blues. Johnny Winter, same thing. That the guitar is going to be more of a star than their singing, their voice. Yeah. Although they both do a great job, singing. Coco Taylor, though, her voice comes from way down here, and she can pull it up like that. She just honky tonky. God damn, that song is good.
Great.
And when I first heard it, all right, I was listening to it online, and on that first track, I knew I had to go buy it, and I did. So, I mean, I have another Coco Taylor album, and it's also really, really good. But yeah, Jesus, it's just she's backed by a very good band, tight. I would have probably liked a little more flamboyance from the guitar. Ab Locke on the saxophone is just great. He does a really, really excellent job there. Vince Chappelle on drums. He's just right there with the rhythm. He's right there with everything. But yeah, this is 5 rainbows for me, and I'm just really kind of disappointed that you guys didn't see that.
We let you down.
Sorry.
I thought this was going to be our first perfect album. I thought, oh God, everybody's gonna love this. Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, for me, this was all about record store day and picking out like 10 releases and listening to them and streaming them before I decided what I wanted to get. And like we talked about before, it was like Hal Blaine's psychedelic album. Oh wow, this is going to be awesome, and it really wasn't. I checked out obviously the Al Wilson, got that. That was pretty cool. The Boner Bayou, like you were saying, was great cover of that and all that. The Willie Dixon was pretty good. I didn't end up getting that one. A couple of Muddy Waters came out. I was thinking about those, didn't get those. And a couple of what was the Frog, Marble Frog. I didn't care for that at all. But then this one was like, when I heard this, it was like, this is number 1 on the list. I will get this before I even get the Rolling Stones Beggar's Banquet, which I didn't even have on vinyl at that point, because I'd heard the name Coco Taylor. I knew she was a blues person. And but I'd never heard any of her stuff. If I did, I didn't realize it was her. And I heard this, and it was like 3 or 4 seconds in, I was pretty much sold. I mean, this thing does not waste any time. I mean, I don't know how somebody can not like this unless they just don't like. The only negative thing I can see somebody saying about this is it's a bit cliched. There a lot of the blues stuff. She does the Manish Boys blues thing on the title track, the da 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 da, da da da, that thing. But each thing is a different kind of section of that, of different kind of blues things. But she is, it is so fun. The album is so fun.
It's a fun blues record.
It's like
which
walking into a blues club, and
yep.
the
drinking
like
and shaking your ass.
What I've
Pour
always
me a
said,
beer, I'm going to dance.
Yeah, it's like the thing I said lately about not caring about going to. I'm kind of done at this point in my life with stadium concerts and seeing the big band come around again for the umpteenth time, and they're all past their prime. I'm much more about, at this point, going down Beale Street, walking into a random bar, and just seeing who's in there. And this, to me, sounds like that. She's totally... I mean, obviously, she's got incredible skills. She's incredible force, but she doesn't sound like some superstar up there wowing you with her vocal, acrobatics. She's just singing the blues, incredible.
And she's singing it.
Right, and that's right. She's just really going way all out with, all right, her cracking, growling voice and all that. You guys did the track-by-track thing, so I won't have to do that again, but just so many great things on here. And the guitarists are Sammy Lawhorn and a guy named Mighty Joe Young. I'm assuming that's not his real name, so it's kind of an anonymous thing. But it's, like Mike said, it's a really super tight band that's backing her up. Her voice and everything is what it's all about. She's got such a presence. And first time I heard this is like my number one pick for Record Store Day. And I still love the fact that her last name's Taylor. And I was at the record store, and we had one of these left. And we're like, there's still a Taylor left. And like everybody turns around. Coco Taylor.
It's an old joke.
Yeah, that's not an old. How can that be an old joke?
It was from last week.
Yeah, that's a week old. Taylor Swift. Everybody's in line for that. But we weren't even going to get this at the record store until I said I really want one. So he went ahead and ordered mine, and then two others, and the third one just sat on the shelf. And I'm like, you people are walking out of here with the Verve Pipe and Our Lady Pete's Greatest Hits. I'm going to go ahead and leave Coco Taylor on the shelf.
It was an Our Lady Pete's Greatest Hits.
Some bullshit like that. And I'm like, I don't even want to understand. It's not that I don't understand people. I don't want to understand people anymore.
Right.
This album is the perfect example. When people are, whenever the list comes out, there's nothing on this list. There's nothing on this list. They look
you
at it
don't
and
know that there was something on the list.
You need to. Yeah. This is the perfect example of there's always shit on these lists for everybody. You're gonna find gems, whether it's that or whether it's Coco Taylor or the Al Wilson or even the Temptations record. There's always cool shit.
I got
you
that.
Just gotta dig and you gotta stream and you gotta educate yourself.
Right, that's what you gotta. It's right there for you, waiting for you to sample on the line.
It's
and the vinyl of this, since Richard and I are the only two that have this, the vinyl of this is super quiet. It's red. It's beautiful, and it sounds very, very clear and very. It's not. I'm sure the original sounds just like this. So, Coco Taylor, I got what it takes. I wish I would have been like Mike and seen her live. That's not going to happen now, obviously. She passed away a few years ago, but this is her debut for Alligator, and I'm definitely not only wanting to get some more Coco Taylor in my life, but I need to really start listening to more blues like this. Albert Collins and just anybody on Alligator like this. I'm not so much of the people that stop the song. Like I was talking about Billy Vera and the Beaters before. There's a lot of that stuff that I want to avoid, and I want to go with fun, energetic stuff like this. And five rainbows from me. So that would be 18 rainbows.
Can you stream radio shows?
I don't know. Where are they to stream?
If you should check out on Sunday night, WCMU. It's online, so you can look up WCMU, the Juke Joint. Every Sunday night, it's a 3-hour blues show, and I know the guy who compiles the playlists and everything. He's been doing it for like 30 years, and just amazing blues, and you can. Here he plays so many things. He's interviewed so many blues artists. He has a wealth of knowledge. He doesn't have a great radio personality, which is why I don't think his show has been syndicated. It's on public radio. syndicated to more stations. But look up WCMU Radio. You can listen to it online. The juke joint.
And just one last thing, I'm going to pawn this dress. I'm going to pawn these rings. I'm telling you, people, I'm going to pawn everything.
Oh, you pawning everything. The watch. Watch it out, girl. Okay.
So now we're about to find out what's going to follow Coco Taylor for next week.
What is going to follow Coco Taylor that I've been struggling with for the last week? And I have two sitting here. And I
remember the last time you had two.
I think, I think, and y'all might, one person might not be surprised, but I think a couple other people might. Okay. Okay, this is the one I'm going with.
Work it.
This is the one I'm going with.
Get the neck.
Get ready. I know, we listened to Coco Taylor. Now it's time for the other Taylor. So here we are, ready to go with the other Taylor. No, I'm not going to give you no fucking tape. Okay, we're going to listen to Wilson Pickett, the exciting Wilson Pickett. I have my original mono, and I have my reissue. And
the exciting Wilson Pickett.
The exciting Wilson Pickett from 1966.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1966. So we're going to go with...
I mean, I love me some Wilson Pickett.
We're going to get it.
This is the one with like 1,000 dances on it.
This is 1,000 dances. It does not have Mustang Sally. That's the next album. But we'll
it does have for the second time on a Wilson Pickett album, it has In the Midnight Hour.
Yes. Yeah. Because the prior album was called In the Midnight Hour, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they put it on this one too.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Yeah. We got a theme going, I think.
I guess that was 70s that we just
did. Got a theme going
last episode, and it was in my veins because both of okay. Go ahead.
I've already reviewed this on Instagram, but anyway, yes.
Oh, you have. Okay. I don't always read your Instagram.
No one ever reads those.
I read your Instagram.
I read them all,
but I don't remember your Wilson Pickett one. Never mind. I remember something about you and Wilson Pickett and I, and just you and I. Okay, shut up, Craig.
So for next week, it's Wilson Pickett, the exciting Wilson Pickett.
It's exciting. And 1999.
Yeah, 1999.
When they're going to be good.
When the brick walling of the CDs was at its peak.
1990 fucking 9.
Please join us then. It'll be all kinds of fun. There'll be bottoms, that's for sure. I don't want to miss that.
It might be all bottoms. Who knows?
It'll be like a twink party.
Yes.
I'm glad you said it.
All right, we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. Once again, I'm Robert Fitton, along with
Richard and Calvin Wazoo.
Craig and the Vinyl Plethora. I drank too much wine.
And Mike at Hubtoon.
Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you'll watch us again next time. You'll see us then. We'll pretend to be seeing you.